16 minutes after 6 o'clock on this Monday morning. It is 25 degrees Celsius already here in Kingston. Welcome back to Sunrises. When you hear that beat, you know what time it is. It's time for the girl Teeks with the cheeks. Good morning, Teeks.
Great morning. Great morning, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Good morning to you. So good to see you both.
Awesome. Indeed, indeed. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a good weekend.
Awesome.
It's a Monday kind of headlines.
I have a little of this, a little of that. You ready?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Finance Minister details compensation review progress.
Okay.
So, in a significant development for public sector employees, Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, has announced the next phase of the comprehensive review of compensation for those in public service. The review follows phase 1, which focused on the salary scale. And during this phase, the government committed to a substantial increase in public sector compensation totaling $200 billion between the 2021 to 22 and the 2024 to 25 fiscal years. Dr. Clark made the disclosure while addressing the Jamaica Civil Service Association's 105th annual general meeting. So just an update there on that.
Yes, I like the update because salaries are going up. So that is good news for the public sector employees. And the next phase suggests that there's progress, that there's
more to come.
And more to come.
I mean, well, we've been for a long time in terms of covering this issue. Talking about the need for a review of compensation, the structure, how public sector workers are compensated for their work, how not only what they are paid, but how they're held accountable, all of the million and one different exemptions and things. So in terms of bringing it together, you know, because a lot of people were like, we're never going to do it. Some people used to say, we're never going to achieve it. We're never going to get there. And so to see it happen in the phases that it's up. So the first phase happened, and it was a difficult first phase. A lot of people were upset and felt that, you know, they could have gotten more of this or so forth and so on. So those negotiations had to happen. And so now moving into the second phase, I am interested to see how we navigate that. I would hope that we have good communication between the Ministry of Finance and the various negotiating groups, bargaining groups, etc., so that we can navigate smoothly the second phase.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, definitely. And of course, we will definitely keep everyone updated and posted on the progress of that.
Yes,
all right?
yes,
all right.
Next up, I don't know if did you gentlemen hear about this one? The attempted arson at Jamaica's Parliament building. So police are investigating an attempted arson at Gordon House, the seat of Jamaica's Parliament in downtown Kingston. The incident occurred on Saturday night. A representative from the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Corporate Communications Network confirmed that the incident took place at approximately 10:01 p.m. According to reports, 2 security officers on duty at the time detected a suspicious odor. Upon investigation, they discovered a minor burn on the front door of the building and a burnt plastic bottle nearby. Fortunately, there were no injuries. Meanwhile, the police have launched an investigation with CCTV footage revealing a lone individual approaching the building and throwing the bottle, igniting it before fleeing north along Duke Street. So despite the fire being extinguished naturally, it caused approximately $80,000 worth of damage. In response, the police commissioner, Dr. Kevin Blake, has directed a comprehensive review and assessment of security arrangements for various scheduled premises. And the JCF is urging anyone with information to come forward to ensure the safety and security of national institutions.
Yeah. Well, I think the important thing to establish, so I mean, you may have like, and this is just standard. So was this an attack with larger intent? Was this just some random person? You would want to look at the footage and establish, is this a man of unsound mind? Or looks like this is a person, I mean, you can't just look and tell, but, you know, is this a homeless person who, you know, people love to say madman. Yes. And then you go through, all right, which way did he run? You can see if you can do any casing around the person. But what you want, this constitutes an attack on the seat of parliament,
Yes.
which is an attack on the democracy itself.
Yes.
Did this person really mean it as that, or was it just an anarchist, or was it just a person, just a vandal, a random vandal? But it's not something you can just say, cha, a little bit of damage, so you have to take all these things seriously.
That's serious, always a serious issue.
Yeah.
When one national institution, as you said, it's an attack on our own democracy, because that's where the decisions, important decisions are being made. No, the CCTV would perhaps show the footage, and we can, by the footage, tell whether it's a random, unsound mind person. For example, if it was a car who drove up 4 men alike.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very different thing than somebody approaching on foot and leaving on foot. Yeah, exactly. So those are the kinds of assessments that you have to do. But also, I've noticed the fact that about a general review of security arrangements around scheduled premises. And when we talk about scheduled premises, it's an actual, it means something. So, you know, Jamaica House, Garden House, King's House, you know, those kinds of premises.
You know, it's interesting. It feels like there's so many fairly new situations that our officials have to deal with. So, for example, bomb scares in schools, Haitians appearing on our, on our shores. No arson at all. Unless I'm too young to realize that these things happen.
I think it's your youth.
You think so? It's my youth.
I think it's your youth.
But it just feels like some.
I mean,
new
you
things
people in your
happening.
early 20s, you wouldn't understand.
Just for that, let's go to the next headline. Concerns surrounding trustee selection for SSL wind-up. Friday's court ruling in the matter of the Financial Services Commission and Stocks and Securities Limited has confirmed that the temporary management by the FSC appointed manager Kenneth Tomlinson, instituted on or around January 17, 2023, ceases immediately. And the process of winding up SSL will continue with Kadion Campbell, the trustee appointed by SSL, in place. In a release, the FSC stated that it will remain actively involved in the process to ensure that the winding up process is conducted transparently and in the best interests of all stakeholders. The court has also stayed all proceedings against SSL. A follow-up court date is scheduled for the 26th of September 2024, where the trustee will present a detailed report and any additional applications will be considered. The Commission is, however, currently reviewing the judgment and assessing the available options, including potential further applications to the court, the outcomes of which are being sought by Shadow Minister of Finance Julian Robinson, who expressed deep concern over the decision of the court to continue with the trustee appointed by SSL. Mr. Robinson is calling for immediate government intervention as a means to reassure investors.
I was wondering what that kind of government intervention would look like, because one would have, I mean, it came as a surprise to me that the court would, you know, rule in that way in terms of the purview of the FSC, because I would have thought that the FSC would have been the right delegated authority to continue doing what it was doing. And so now you're left in a situation where the trustee appointed by SSL is now in charge of managing the process. So yes, I agree with Julian Robinson. It is concerning. I just don't, so, I mean, remember, we have arms of government, and the court has made a ruling. So where do we go from here? How does the FSC says it will remain actively involved in the process? In what capacity, you know? The FSC is not meant to be a paper tiger. It is meant to have authority and teeth to make decisions, and so, you know, I'm kind of wondering. But more on, I guess we'll ask the right questions. And
of course, anything that gets the investors nervous, more so than they are already, then it will be a cause of concern.
Quite so. Quite so.
TK, can I say this quickly?
Yeah.
I have to say this because Oblique Civil is not stale news, is the world leading in 100.
Yes.
And listen, that's big news for more and for all Jamaicans. I see that in the news headlines this morning, because he beat
Noah Lyles.
And you know what I mean? On Jamaican soil this weekend, 9.82 is the time. I'm a feel
love it.
Good.
I love it.
And he's from Usain Bolt's camp. Hey.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this Justin, you know, our YouTubers seem to have found a new name for you, gentlemen.
Yes.
Divine Ray came up with, what is it? Denity.
Denity.
Denity? 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 We're not sure. We're not sure. Vivian says, good morning to these bright and look good gentlemen.
Hey,
you know,
It's not even my birthday.
you know Dennis now have no behavior, but we love you know. Hey, we love you guys too. And remember to tune in to Lead Story this evening at 6:30 p.m. with George Davis. And the cut is on tonight at 8 p.m. featuring Leon Bailey, Valiant. And, you know, you don't want to miss it. So, YouTubers, we love you know.
All right, all right.
No, the question is, what fruit in Jamaica has the word June in it?
June plum.
You cannot win the money then.
I wasn't even looking at Oh my gosh. I'm thinking I'm right and it's there in the prompt.
Listen. Thank you very much, TK, for allowing me to add a little spice of good news in the mix. And that's it for headlines. When we return, it's time for breakfast. It's breakfast is served. So listen, you don't know what it's going to be? Stick and stay and you will see the June Juices edition.
Ooh.